What is this 2x resistance event out of nowhere? Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. We have got a lot to cover in today's video. June 29th, Tuesday, for Raid Shadow Legends. We've got a drop fever event that kind of dropped on us out of nowhere. Clan vs. Clan is live, and we've got a first look at some of the new champions coming to Raid. I will get you my full first impressions of all these champions, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so yeah, first off, there's a 2x resistance drop fever in the Ice Golem currently, and I believe there is currently a Dungeon Divers event going on, but I don't know that this is going to be significant incentive to grind the Ice Golem. The Ice Golem is typically thought of as the least desirable dungeon to really pump a bunch of energy in and go super hard grinding. So kind of a weird event that drops. I don't know if the 2x resistance is going to cut it in terms of incentivizing people right before a fusion launching in a couple days to really slam into the Ice Golem. But right out the gate here, I really want to get into these new champions that are being shown on the website, because now we can finally see how the books shake out and really get you some first impressions on what this is looking like. So this is Versolf the Grim. This is going to be the Fragment Summon champion that is going to be launching this weekend. So we can finally see exactly what's going on here. Remember, a legendary Force champion based off of affinity, or based off of HP for the Knight Revenant. Now for the A1, we actually don't get any provoke chance. I thought we would, so that is slightly disappointing for him. I was hoping we would get a little bit of provoke chance on there. So pretty simple. We're just getting 20% damage on the A1, which is pretty lame for A1 books. The AoE does book to 100% and a 3-turn cooldown, which is exactly what we thought would happen, so pretty normal there. And then we do get to a 3-turn cooldown on the A3, which is big because it can book to 3 instead of 4. That was one that I wasn't for sure on. So the A1 underwhelming, the A3 good job on the books there, and then no changes to the passive with books or anything. And obviously Aura, we don't need to see how books shake out or anything. So yeah, I think you know, not a whole lot changed in terms of my view of this guy. I think it's gonna be about a B in terms of grade for me. He's not gonna be awesome like A tier, and he's not gonna be like just the worst legendary in the game or anything, but definitely a little bit underwhelming, not as good as like an Underpriest Brogni type event or anything, or like a Torment or a Rotos type fusion. But you guys know my sentiment by now. I like to recommend you go for it if it's realistic to do so, because I'd hate to see you miss out on a champion that gets rebalanced or becomes super relevant with something you're trying to do in the game in the future. So not a whole lot changed in terms of my views on Versolf, and that will be launching here in a couple days. But then let's get into the new champions coming to the game here, and we've got a legendary for the Skinwalkers. Gonna be a Spirit Attack champion. Okay, so you're seeing my first live reaction here. I'll just let you know what I'm thinking. Okay, attack one enemy, 30% chance. We can buff that up to 50 if placing weakened. Chance increases to 50 if under Hex. Okay, so we're getting more champions, looks like. They're going to be designed to work with the Hex mechanic, to go with things like Thea, the Tomb Angel. Perfect Veil on this champion if enemies under Hex. Okay, cool. And then 30% crit rate on this champion for 2 turns. That should be at least all allies if it's just crit rate. We can book this to 100 of block active skills for 2 turns if under Hex. Okay. Places increased accuracy on this champion for 2 turns, then attacks all enemies. Has a 75% chance of placing a Hex, 100% chance of placing a Fear debuff if they're already under Hex. So gonna be super qualify heavy, and gonna be decent in Hex comps and really not that great without it. Counterattacks with default skill every time the champion loses 30% or more HP in a single turn, kind of like the Mastery does that. Always counterattacks when attacked if 2 or more allies are dead. Could be a fun like campaign farmer mechanic, I guess. My first impression is kind of underwhelming. Could be fun in certain Hex compositions, but really doesn't seem to have a carved out role besides that. So in terms of grades on Cleopteryx, probably like a C, C-. I'm not super excited about that one there. Okay, they were putting out some tough names here. Tuaneric? Sure, why not? Okay, we've got a Void Legendary coming to the game. We've got a support for the Barbarians. Okay, new Void Legendaries is always hype. Okay, Attack one enemy, 30% chance of decreased speed. That's good for boss fights, especially in like faction wars. 50% continuous heal buff on this champion for 1 turn. Also on the ally with the lowest HP. That's a decent A1. I like that. It's only a 30% chance of placing though. You can book it up to 50, I guess. Okay. Then we can book this up to 100% on the A2 to decrease attack and place block buffs. Okay. Also applies debuff spread effect, taking 2 random debuffs from the target, placing them on all enemies. I mean, alright. And then we've got 60% increased defense and increased speed on all allies for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. That's pretty good. That's insane for like faction wars. Increasing the defense and increasing the speed, especially this is barbarians, so you pair this with like Valkyrie or something for faction wars. Yeah, you can get pretty insane there. The speed buff, really important for waves and faction wars and stuff. So the A3 is definitely pretty good on a 3-turn cooldown. Remove 1 random debuff from allies at the start of each turn. Ooh, like a Doom Priest passive. That's really good. Okay, so that's good. The A3 and the passive are definitely awesome, because you're just getting guaranteed consistent debuff cleansing is awesome. That's why Doom Priest has aged like fine wine. They keep adding mechanics to the game where Doom Priest ends up being pretty cool because of that passive, and this passive is extremely similar. So okay, and then ally accuracy in all battles by 70. It's a good aura for progression when you don't have your Great Hall built up and stuff. So yeah, I would give this like a B plus, A minus. Not going to be the best Void Legendary in the game or anything, but it definitely has a role. Pretty decently designed champion with some fun stuff. Then next we've got Pharsalus Gravedirt, an epic Magic Affinity Defense champion for Night Revenant. Okay. A1, 20% chance placing a Provoke for 1 turn. We can book it up to 40, it looks like. Place 50% decrease attack for 1 turn if target's under fear. I don't like qualifiers, but especially because you're not going to be able to like fear and true fear bosses. So that's a little bit unfortunate there on the A1. AoE with 3-turn cooldown that places heal reduction. So I hope the rest of the stuff's pretty good here. Okay, so place shield buff on all allies for 2 turns equal to 30% of their max HP. Also place 50% strengthen on all allies for 2 turns. That's really solid for like the spider or like sustaining and faction wars and stuff. So okay, the A3 is all right. And then immune to fear and true fear. That's fun. Whenever an ally's HP drops below 50% from an enemy attack, has a 50% chance of placing a fear debuff on the attacker for 1 turn. Whenever an ally dies, to place a true fear. Rough qualifiers, but a fun little passive there. And then ally defense and faction crypts by 30%. Okay, so not bad for an epic. I do like the A3 and some ancillary fear proccing there. I'd go like a B minus, something like that. I think could make sense in right composition, but not going to be super consistent. And then we've got Venom Mage, an epic magic support for the Lizardmen. It's going to be attack 1 enemy, decrease target's max HP. Okay, by 75% of damage inflicted if they're under a heal reduction. I don't like that qualifier, but okay. Each hit a 35% chance to instantly activate up to 2 poison debuffs. Okay, so we've seen like full detonates. Now we're getting kind of like pseudo detonates here on the A1. Okay, attack 1 enemy, 75% chance of placing. We can book it to 100 of defense break and also attack break. If under a poison. Okay, then we get an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown when booked of heal reduction. So he does that himself at least, and then also place some poisons. Okay, enemies under heal reduction inflict fit. Now that's a good way to get some value out of heal reduction. If we start getting stuff like that, where you get ancillary effects that stack on top of it, that's cool. Like they inflict less damage while under heal reduction. That's kind of like a plague type thing. Multiple things that are going on. So okay, cool. And then ally accuracy in all battles by 45. Okay. So yeah, I'd go like a B. I don't see God tier or anything, but like because of that passive, I could see some fun things coming out of that, and be like just straight up 15% damage reduction is really good. So especially as a passive, when you're placing heal reduction yourself here, every 3 turns on an AoE, yeah, that's like I can go like a B or so on this. Then it looks like we got a couple of miscellaneous things. Summon Gamma Skyhive from Fragments will be moved to part 7 of Progress missions. Void Shards will receive a Summon 10x option in the portal. We finally did it. We finally did it. I feel like that should have been a dedicated video. Like, that should have been a dedicated release notes thing. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I guess that's probably not a big deal for the player base, but as somebody who does viewer shards all the time for every event, that is going to be epic because I'm able to switch up the luck. Okay, singles aren't working out, let's try a 10x. Or I'm able to get to more people during a stream and have some more fun during events. So we've definitely needed a 10x for void shards because there's no reason not to. There's no downside to giving a 10x for voids. It's not like if people don't like it, they can just continue to pull single voids. But for the people that do want it, boom, now we've got 10x for voids. Okay, tapping the sell button in the artifact storage will no longer add the selected artifact or accessory to the list of the items that you wish to sell. Okay, yeah, so just a little bit of a quality of life clarification there on the artifact and accessory selling. And then even players who are not part of a clan will be able to view information about the clan boss difficulties and rewards. Okay, cool. Okay, so big things. Some fun champions, and the 10x void thing is definitely a big change as well. So remember, the fragment fusion event is supposed to be launching towards the end of this week, and we'll probably get a 10x to coincide with some of this stuff here. But then for as far as what is going on in game, again, we do not have a tournament going on, so the calm before the storm here in that regard. And then under events, remember I talked about the Dungeon Divers event right here. That's coinciding with maybe double dipping and going into the Ice Golem to grind a little bit if you are really in the market for some of that resistance set, which can be good in the end game. But even though we've got a fusion coming up, at least you get a legendary book here, and I would at least try to get to 2600 and scoop up those 10 core hammers. Okay, then the fusion warm-up. Remember, you want to be pulling at least some mystery shards and stuff here over the next few days to scoop up the 80 points here from just kind of being active in the game and warming up for the fusion to scoop up some of these basically free resources if you're just willing to go ahead and pull mystery shards and be diligent about that. And then the champion training, not a whole lot to talk about here. You can kind of hold off and save resources. It would make sense to just kind of wait until the fusion is live to really start going hard on some of this stuff, because there's nothing crazy here. Getting this many points down here at 9,000 and 11,000 is a lot to do right before a fusion, so no harm done and not really worrying about the champion training going on right now. Alrighty, then what do we got going on for offers in the game right now? Let's go 40 1.5, and then we're gonna do 5 6-star or 5 5-star or 6 5-star chicken. I always get mixed up when it's like rank 5 times 6. I always just kind of in my head it throws me off for some reason. But anyway, it is 6 5-star chicken. Okay, then we got 100 brews. That's my kind of math here. 100 or 25 times 4. Okay, and then we're gonna go with 500 gems and boom. Yeah, 1.36. Not going to cut it, especially right before a fusion. We're looking for a little bit more value there out of that. So multi-battle pack. Let's go 10 and erase this stuff here and get 700 energy along with the 12 energy refills. And boom, 1.83. So if the 150 multi-battles are worth $1 or $2, not that bad of an offer, but make sure you realize it is coming over the course of 3 days. The monthly pack is at 2.45. The Great Deal Mix Pack. So we've got some books and stuff. 1.5 million again. And then energy of 750. And 45 brews. 72 on the offer here for the books. 2.21. A good offer for high spenders, but diligent spenders, maybe hold off on that one. The 2-for-1 mini mix packs are great. It's like a 5 on the offer sheet there. Ooh, and then we've got the Savage set coming in. So, yeah, one of the better sets in the game for Savage, but is it worth $30 for epic gear? I think not. So this would only make sense for super high spenders that are really focused on min-maxing gear for like competing in platinum and stuff. For diligent spenders, I don't think this makes sense. Alrighty, so that will do it for what I wanted to get covered in this video. Clan vs. Clan is live. Good luck, and I hope you're able to take down the win and get some of those sought-after accessories. So good luck in your Clan vs. Clan. And then remember, we've got the Doom Tower ending soon, and I will be wrapping up the plans for my next free-to-play competition this week, and I will get that announced pretty soon for you guys that are looking for a free-to-play competition to participate in. But yeah, if you're watching this right away, I'm going to head on over to Twitch. There's a link down below in a pinned comment if you want to come hang out. I will be live for the next few hours right after releasing this video, just talking about the new champions and hanging out, playing some raid, and interacting with you guys if you want to stop by. So as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.